Rennes hammer Lyon and take aim at Champions League places. On a weekend when the other teams in the mix for the European places stumbled, draws for Monaco and Marseille, a defeat for Nice, Sunday night fixture looked like an appealing one, with Lyon travelling to Rennes. It was no shock that the match would feature so much attacking play, but it was a surprise that nearly 90% of it came from Rennes. They ran out convincing 4-1 winners to move up to 5th in the table, just a point behind Nice and Marseille. The result was something approaching a shock given Lyon's impressive recent form and the fact that Rennes were missing a handful of important players. The winning margin could have been higher, but for a world-class display from Lyon keeper Anthony Lopez. Both sides had played in Europe during the week. Lyon continued their perfect start to their Europa League campaign, sealing a place in the knockout stages with a 3-0 win over Sparta Prague, an important result on the back of their gritty victory against Lens last weekend. Rennes were victorious in the Europa Conference League, beating Mura 1-0 to stay above Spurs and Vitesse Arnhem in their group. Despite the importance of their European campaigns, both managers rotated heavily on Thursday, clearly viewing their meeting in the league as crucial, not only in terms of facing a direct competitor for the top places, but also as an ideal opportunity to enter the international break with some momentum. Lyon seemed to have recovered from what was a traumatic loss to Nice in mid-October by beating Lens, while Rennes were unbeaten in 9 across all competitions, having handed PSG their sole league defeat of the campaign in that stretch. Rennes invested heavily in the summer, bringing in Loic Bade, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Guiton Laborde, Baptiste Santamaria and Lovro Major. Only PSG spent more money on players. While the new arrivals at Rennes were somewhat offset financially by the £34 million sale of Eduardo Camavinga to Real Madrid, they lost 3 league matches in a row after the teenager's move was confirmed. Bruno Genesio was struggling to settle on a consistent tactical approach, with injuries also playing a part in their slow start. Jeremy Doku, such an electric presence over the summer with Belgium, was injured at the same time Camavinga departed, leaving the manager without 2 players who had been expected to be integral to the team's success this season. Given the club's outlay of nearly €90 million, there were concerns about the suitability of Genesio to be in charge of such an expensively assembled squad, even though he had only been appointed in March to replace Julian Stéphan. Rennes sunk as low as 16th after that third loss, a 2-0 defeat to Marseille, in mid-September. But their riposte was as emphatic as one could expect, thrashing Clermont, who had started the season impressively, 6-0. It was a nice result, but their real test would come the following weekend against PSG. They turned out one of the results of the season to date, beating the leaders 2-0. Genesio lined his side up in a 4-4-2 in that match, with Martin Terrier and Laborde leading the line as he bravely left both Santamaria and Bade on the bench. Veteran Jonas Martin started instead of the former Angers man, and the young academy product, Warm Damari, was chosen to partner Naif Agard ahead of Bade, who had been signed from Lens in the summer for €20 million. Genesio's faith in these 2 players was intriguing, as was his confidence in Flavien Tate, who had been in and out the team under Stéphan. There was no arguing with the results. After beating PSG, Rennes won 3-0 at Metz, beat Strasbourg 1-0 at home, and drew 2-2 at Troyes. Lyon, though, have been playing with plenty of verve under Peter Bosz and looked likely to challenge Rennes' unbeaten run. Genesio, true to his tinkering reputation, lined up his team in a 4-3-3. Rennes were without the injured Martin, Santamaria started at the base of midfield, and Sulemana was dropped as well. In the Ghanaian's place, a first league start was given to Major, and he was astounding. Even though Rennes had looked doggedly solid over the previous 2 months, they had often seemed to lack much in the way of inventiveness. Even Tate and Sulemana, despite their abilities, were hardly the type of players to set a match alight with creative brilliance. Major, playing as the most advanced of a midfield 3, was tremendous throughout. The Croatian linked well with Terrier and Laborde, who scored his 8th goal of the campaign, making him the top scorer in League One so far this season. Lopez had to produce a highlight reel of saves to keep the match scoreless until Laborde finally broke Lyon's resistance on the stroke of half-time. The onslaught continued after the interval, with Adrien Truffert hitting a brace off the bench and Hamari Traore scoring a rare goal. Despite their absences and the surprising decision to drop Sulemana and change systems, Rennes were imperious. Genesio will no doubt continue to tinker, and one result does not a season make, even when taken in concert with their win over PSG. But his team's performances are only likely to improve as Major returns to full fitness and Doku rejoins the fold. It's the kind of form that should give Lens, Marseille a nice food for thought. If they assume the battle to qualify for the Champions League was becoming a three-horse race, they will have to think again. Marseille 0-0 Metz Lorient 1-2 Brest Nantes 2-2 Strasbourg Reims 0-0 Monaco Saint-Étienne 3-2 Clermont Nice 0-1 Montpellier Rennes 4-1 Lyon Lille 1-1 Angers Bordeaux 2-3 PSG Lens 4-0 Troyes Lens continue to impress. They thumped Troyes 4-0 on Friday. Laurent Battle's promoted side have not been up to much this season, but the result was important one for Lens after their defeat to Lyon last weekend. It also gave Jonathan Clauss the chance to bolster his argument for a spot in the France team, especially following Leo Dubois' poor showing, with 2 assists and a goal. No other player in the league has as many assists this season. The right back is not the most solid defender, but he is surely worth a look, even at 29. Saint-Étienne have finally picked up their first win of the season, beating Clermont 3-2 thanks to a pair of stoppage time goals. They are now off the bottom of the table. With winnable matches against Troyes and Brest to come after the international break, they could move out of the relegation zone soon, something that seemed nigh on unthinkable a month ago. Finally, Montpellier made it 3 wins from 4 by beating Nice in one of the weekend's surprise results. The visitors were missing TG Savanier and long-term absentees Thuler and Pedro Mendes in defense and were perhaps lucky not to concede when Mario Lemina hit the crossbar in the second half, but a goal from Florent Mollet was enough to give them a 1-0 win. Montpellier are looking increasingly cohesive, a swashbuckling counter-attacking side in the mold of manager Olivier Delaglio's former team, Brest. This is an article from Get French Football News. Follow Eric Devon and GFFN on Twitter